Name of love. Well, we're gonna have to see about that, but we got another model here by U2. It is of the Novitec 488 Pista. And this time around, I actually looked up Novitec photos and not a stock 488. This is the actual Novitec website. I'm gonna let you pause as I focus. And essentially, you can tune this up to 3 levels, up to 800 horsepower and 898 Newton meters. That's a lot of power coming out of a V8 engine. It is turbocharged though, and it's making 82 horsepower more than usual and 128 Newton meters more than usual, which I think is actually probably difficult on a Ferrari because I imagine Ferraris are tuned pretty high, but I do question the reliability of tuning it that high. So these are from that same website, the Novitec website. U2 I don't think is licensed, if that matters to you. So this is kind of an illegal activity we're doing here. I'm reviewing something that Ferrari says is not cool. Although technically, is this a Ferrari if it's called a Novitec? I don't know. Little card here saying thanks and all that stuff. Little wash or cleaning microfiber thing. Okay, just a rigid box. This taped together? Oddly, it's not taped together. Boy, I hope this isn't a display model. I've had a few display models sent to me. See, this is kind of scratched. I don't know if there was tape here ever and it's been cleaned off. I can't remember. I don't remember if U2s come with those little tape dots or not. Well, let's just hope it's in good shape, then I won't care at all. Obviously, this is not the same color. And obviously, this got a crazy paint job in the model with the tricolore flag there. Okay, and sadly, this has black wheels, so it's kind of hard to see. I believe these wheels you see in the photographs are made by a company called Vossen. They make cool wheels. I made some for my Hot Wheels Blings before, and I thought they were really cool. I imagine they're really expensive, though, in the real world, that is. Okay, well, that's what you get for the comparison photos. Let's get into the model. So the base, it's got this cool graphic, that's for sure, with the tricolore flag going on there as well. And then this is like a grayscale. And for a moment I thought it was like blue or purple, but I think it is just gray. Alright. And then you have the photo etch piece here with the Ferrari horse, the Novitec, the car, and then U2, and this is number 323 of 399. There is a possibly 0 number as well. And there's just 2 screws holding them. They're stainless screws, so that's nice. They shouldn't rust. And let us start with the front wheel. So, yeah, they're black, and they do look like the photographs as far as the shape goes, but they don't have the stepping that the real wheels seem to have. But I guess being 64 times smaller than usual, maybe you gotta accept that kind of loss of detail. What I do like is the prancing horse, though. It's basically vertical, so that's good. Even though the wheel isn't totally centered in its orientation, at least the horse is. You can see that the tire is rubbing the body. These resin models are not going for toy playability. They're not going to roll. You're not even supposed to open the box, I think, because I've touched some before and the paint chipped off. So if you buy this, I wouldn't recommend you actually take it out of the box. Okay, so the tire is very low profile, but it's still curved, so that's nice. And I don't see any crazy truck tread blocks on the side, so that's good. I don't know if it actually has treads. I mean, it's so dark, I gotta get a flashlight to see. Yeah, it does have treads, but you don't see them from the side, and that's the way real street tires look. So, you too, you guys are paying attention to photographs. And that brake caliper is 3-dimensional, so that looks very good, and I almost feel there's probably printing on it. I see a little black on that caliper. The brake rotor itself has some photo etched little cross drilling, or maybe that's plastic and it's just molded in, but the holes are so crisp. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a piece of metal. Okay, you got this little tiny white dot here, or it's a bump, perhaps clear resin, and then you got the prancing horse here. Perhaps that's a decal, perhaps it's some sort of foil sticker. Well, it's not shiny, but I don't see any wrinkliness that I associate with a decal. I don't know what it is. Feels pretty smooth, but no, I can feel it for sure. But it doesn't feel as rough as a usual decal that I'm accustomed to. The camera's having a hard time between the black and the shininess of this green. But the green is nice. The flakes are pretty small, so it doesn't look like a hot rod. The panel lines are really thin because it's a resin body, not die cast. Although they didn't carve enough out of there, right there. And then this carbon fiber looks pretty good down here. I do believe the carbon fiber is clear coated. So it's probably a decal, but see, that's super smooth. So I kind of feel like that's under the clear coat. Yeah, it feels perfectly smooth. So maybe that is under the clear coat. But I do feel a ridge right there, so it might be in a recess. Separate mirror here has a foil sticker, so it actually is reflecting the pick like a real mirror. It's interesting that the door handle is that low, but that's where it is on the photograph I pulled up, so that makes sense. This vent up here, it looks like a photo etch piece painted black, and then this carbon decal or graphic of some sort. Okay, I guess maybe that's a fuel filler. I assume this car is petrol. Maybe it's a hybrid, I don't know. Okay, the horse again in the proper orientation. And again, I kind of feel like I see black there, but maybe the other side will see some text. But three-dimensional brake caliper looks good. Okay, I guess we'll go zip around to the front. And we got some photo etch pieces up here. Nice, you can feel the openings there. I'm gonna get the flashlight, see if we can see anything behind there. I don't see anything behind there. Well, anyways, it's good color separation between the black of this photo etch and the body. And then there's a little black, or maybe that's a carbon decal. Hold on, I lost focus. Okay, so yeah, I think that's a carbon graphic of some sort. Same with here. It's wrapping up from the bottom up in here. Unfortunately not enough. You can see a little of the green right there, but here it's covering it up. So I wish that decal was longer, and yeah, that would have solved that problem. The little chin spoiler here, it's got that carbon graphic. You see it kind of kinks in there. It's not going all the way across. And then this little center area, yeah, it's got the part of the flag from up there. That's interesting. Yeah, the flag doesn't actually go on this surface. It's kind of like underneath and like airflow, you know, that flag. Alright, the prancing horse here. Yeah, it's at least in the upright position. I'm at 4 times magnification again, so things are going to get wobbly. Yeah, you can see the tricolor flag up there, and so some sort of indication of a text block of Ferrari there. I think what's smart about this brand is this is in a recess also. So that being in a recess really helps whoever puts this decal on there in the right location. Whereas if it was a totally smooth surface, that's when the badges are off to the left and the right. So I think that's a good idea that they've done, both there and on the side. So they're really where they should be. Alright, panel gap looks good again. Now this is definitely got the wrinkliness of a decal. And I think it is on the outside surface, unfortunately. I can feel that ledge. Okay, yeah, this is super smooth though. Very smooth. What's down here? Oh, nice. They put a little photo etch piece there for the venting, so that's nice. Okay, this carbon up here. Now this carbon looks a lot smoother. So, I don't know again. Well, I do see the wrinkliness. Might be exposed, might be under some clear coat. I don't know for sure. The wiper blades here. Wow, having a hard time. So that's a deficiency. They are photo etched. Nice etched details. It's just that this blade is not perpendicular to the windscreen. It's just flat. So other resin brands will bend that so it's perpendicular like a real wiper blade. This one's kinda sort of, but no, ideally it's not quite, it's not bent. Not bent 90 degrees, that is. So that's not so great. Let's just check. Whoa, wait a sec. This mirror has a carbon graphic as well on the leading edge. Let me just check this side of the model here. The horse is in the upright position in both instances. And yes, you can definitely see there's some black on that caliper there. It's just that the spokes are tightly spaced. Yeah, again there. So I'm assuming that's supposed to say like Ferrari. Interesting that this side has a door lock. I assume the driver's. Yep, okay. So the passenger doesn't get a lock. Okay. And then the carbon down here, again, looks super smooth. You can tell because the reflection is such a sharp edge. The light reflection. So that's good. And then that goes in a tiny, well, not really, never mind. Alright, so yeah, that looks good as well. Maybe the decal could have been bigger. You know, I can see a little green peeking through there. Horse is in the upright position again, so that's great. Going around to the back, we have the super smooth clear coated carbon here. Black metallic insert there for that grille. And then yeah, a whole bunch of carbon all over the back end, and it looks pretty smooth. Now these are a little just like stainless steel strips of metal. I'm assuming those are supposed to be the reverse lights. I think they're just stainless and shiny. Sometimes they look black, sometimes they look white because they're so shiny. Okay, the exhaust tips are round. There's a little darkness in the middle. I'm not sure if it's just the depth of it or if there's actually black paint. Maybe it's just the depth because it looks like I see a reflection in there. But it goes in decent enough. It's nice to see a license plate of some sort. A lot of resin brands skip that minor detail. And then at the end of the gearbox or whatever, you have, I don't know, maybe those are LEDs or venting, but it's a photo etched piece of metal. And you can see that carbon, or oh, you know what? This is just so shiny. It's reflecting the carbon of the plastic base up into it. It's not actually, I don't think it's, I mean, it might have this carbon graphic here, but I'm seeing the checkerboard of this. So that's how reflective and shiny and smooth that bottom is. So that vent looks pretty good too. The carbon up here is inset pretty well. The taillights are they not translucent? I can see a little bit of red there, so I think they're just really dark taillights. Yeah, see? They are red, but they're like a dark smoked red. You know, I gotta say that. It looks actually like the rear photograph, kinda, so seems to have some pretty dark taillights. Okay, this third brake light, though, is clearly just a normal red, but I think it's red resin on top of a stainless piece. Okay, so the carbon decal for the wing up here looks pretty good as well. And then we have a shiny horse right there in the middle. So that's nice. And then we have the Ferrari script as a shiny sticker or decal, I'm not sure. And the three-color flag, but it actually has a really fine pinstripe on the edges. I didn't notice that before. Okay, well, you can see some of that carbon coming up underneath this. What's going on here? No, okay. I thought maybe it scoops under, but I don't think it does. I'm afraid to touch that. That might be an air pocket right there. And then, sorry, the camera just has a hard time between the shiny and the dark. So that looks like a decal, but I don't think it's under clear coat. You can see how wrinkly it is. The super thin packaging plastic, the blackouts on the inside surface. Look how thin that is. I can bend it so easily. I don't know if that's glue residue or what. Oh no, that's just actually something inside the engine bay. One last thing before the engine, we have photo etched pieces here for the venting. Okay, so looking at this engine now, I am at 4 times magnification. Okay, well, let's start up here. Photo etched piece in the middle, some decals for the sides of it, and there's a shiny Ferrari text on there. It's so shiny it's hard to see. A little red line. I don't know if that's supposed to represent the ignition wires or if that's literally just a graphic you find on the engine. I don't know what that round thing is, but it's a piece of metal with a little slot etched out of it. Down here we have a carbon decal with the prancing horse but it's not in color. It's just like a silver and black Ferrari badge. I don't know if it's a decal, part of that decal, or if it's a piece of metal. I think it's part of the decal. It doesn't look flat like that. Okay, way down in there you can see the red of perhaps the headers, or maybe it's the engine block itself. Whoa, there we go. Look at that. It's all a matter of getting the right light angle. I don't know. Those don't look like headers. I don't know what the red is. I don't know if those are oil filters there, those round things, and those might be ignition coils or something. I don't know what it is. They're not equal. So, interesting. Please leave a comment. What do you think those are? Those red things. And then the chrome at the bottom. I don't know if those would be. No idea. Alright. So then we have carbon flanking those. And that must be the induction system. So it looks like there's tubing going into those. Okay. Just trying to look way down in this gap. I don't know if I see anything. Maybe that's just the roughness of the resin casting. But at this side there actually is something. I don't know what that is. Maybe, I was going to say the turbo, but there's no pipe leading to the other side. Okay, well, and then there's carbon back there. And there's a separating window between the engine bay and the interior. All in all, a lot to look at there in the engine, so no complaints from me. Okay, so that decal, yeah, you can definitely see the wrinkliness. So it's really interesting that a lot of the decals are not clear coated, but some of the carbon is. I wonder if they have a version without this stripe. Maybe that's why that stripe is not clear coated, because they just can make two different versions with or without that stripe. Okay, you can see a little bit of the ridging of the bulges for the passengers. And I guess it's interior time. So that dashboard is just, black. I guess like a satin finished black. I don't know what that bump is in the middle. Light sensor maybe? Rain sensor? The black out of the window. Yeah, it's on the inside. Oh, one thing I didn't mention. No, there is no piece of metal on the side window. Well, look at the real photos. It's actually quite flush, these windows. So there's no like raised molding, it looks like. So I guess that's okay. Now let's see if there's a rear view mirror. There is. Okay. And it's kind of, I think it might be plastic because it looks thicker than a piece of metal. And it looks like there's a reflector in there. I would have to assume that's a reflective sticker there. So actually that mirror is pretty good. You see the base of it against the windscreen? It's got thickness. So that's representing all the sensors or whatever that goes on behind a mirror. There's some sort of red graphic on the dashboard right there. I have to put this down and see if I can. Gotta get a different angle. Hold on. Try this. Well, there's a Ferrari horse definitely on the steering wheel. Oh, that center console, you got some red and maybe silver dials. And I think that red to the left is maybe a seatbelt buckle. Or maybe not. Maybe it's got nothing to do with a seat. I wonder if it's like an ignition switch maybe. I don't know. Okay, the seats themselves do have a red stripe going up the middle of it. And then the seat backs. Oh, hold on, I lost focus. Zoom in. That's as far as I can zoom. So we have some red prancing horses, I think, on the seat, top of the seats. There's some air passing through there. So I guess you could put race harnesses in there. There's also air passages kind of in the middle of the torso of those seats. So that's cool. Yeah, the seatbelt buckles are there in red there. I don't think there are actual seat belts though, unless, what is that there on the left? I have no clue what that is. I cannot tell. It's definitely shiny. Maybe that's supposed to represent the tongue, or I don't know. No, it looks like it's supposed to be carbon fiber. So, okay. So yeah, behind those seats, there's a big carbon fiber graphic going across there. So, interesting. But below it, it's not. Maybe the below it is the actual body color of this, like, metallic green. So let's see the top of the steering wheel. I think there's like a decal, possibly like a carbon fiber decal on the top center of the steering wheel. Door panels. Yeah, there's an armrest over there. Maybe a handle or something. It's a pretty shallow window. It's kind of hard to tell. Boy, I can't. I think there are paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. Yeah, that thin piece of metal, maybe. Okay. Can really see the rear view mirror there. Unfortunately, that separating window is not touching the roof, and I don't think it's cut evenly. I feel like the left side is shorter than the right side, or it's glued in at an angle. Doesn't look so great. Some cat hair right there, dust. Sorry. Okay, let's see if we can take a look at the instrument gauges. Well, I don't know. I don't know if there's instrument gauges or not. They're in some deep cavities. Yep, there it is. It's yellow. That center. I assume that must be the tachometer in the center. So that's nice. Pedals, possible. The windows are so shallow I can't see any pedals, but it's not to say that they're not there. But I guess they shouldn't be there if you can't see them. Okay. So I think that's it for the interior. I can't see any much else color-wise. Such is the problem with the black interior. It's really hard to see stuff in there. Alright. So let's compare it to a few other cars here. So here's a Kyosho of the standard road car, of the 488. So it's die-cast, it wasn't so expensive, but still a lot of great details. No brake systems though in Kyoshos, not at least blister packs, but I still like it. I added that license plate myself though. So you can see, they added this carbon effect back by the rear wing. There's no splitter there in that intake there. A lot more carbon work, I think, maybe in the diffuser area. The side skirts have that like intake looking thing. The chin spoiler is totally different. So yeah, you're getting some body panels there. Here's another diecast. This is by CM Model. This would have been fantastic if it didn't show up with this paint chip brand new out of the box, but it's got a Liberty Walk body kit on it. So now you can see the over fendering of the thing with the little not lug nuts, body screw details, and little canards and stuff. So I'm not a fan of the whole defroster lines. It totally blocks the view of the engine, so that's unfortunate. Alright, so those are the die casts. And then here's a predecessor, the 458 resin version by Scale Mini, and this is a great model. It's like flawless, and I usually don't say that when Scale Mini is involved, but they did a great job on that one. And so that might be my favorite Scale Mini, even better than the McLaren F1 they did. And then here's the U2 of the F8 Tributo. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, probably not. I believe that's the successor, the one that replaced the subject at hand today. So you can definitely see the family resemblance across the three. This kind of like L-shaped kind of headlight there. Alright. And then, they're 8-cylinder engines, so. Alright. Let's get a top view because the resins are nice enough to warrant it. All super thin packaging, windows, tight panel gaps, all these extra photo etch pieces representing the grills and stuff. That's what you get with the price of a resin. Whereas, die cast would mostly be paint and molded windows that have a lot of distortion. It's just coincidence that all three of them have the Italian flag draped across them. Oh, this is the one that has the punched out windows. That literally has die cut window vents in the back. So that's pretty nice. That's unique to resin models. I still think I like that scale mini the most. But this is still a great model. It would be even greater if the wheels weren't black. I would appreciate them more. Just can't see much with the black wheels. It is a weird mystery as to why people want black wheels on cars that they'll never clean themselves. Alright, well, as usual, I want to thank you for tuning in today, and I guess we will see you the next time a resin model comes in. So, we'll see you whenever I figure out the next U2 song to sing. Alright, bye.